Hi, this is Ramya Ravindran and welcome back to my channel Infinity for UPSC. So yesterday we had covered the second chapter wherein we had learnt about the Stone Age period. Now in this chapter we are going to learn about the Harappan period, that is the Indus Valley Civilization period. Here the title of the chapter is In the Earliest Cities. That means the Harappan civilization was a very modern civilization and they had several cities within it. So that is why the title is In the Earliest Cities. The story of Harappa. So how is it that we got to know about the Harappan civilization? So basically 150 years ago, when railway lines were being laid down, the engineers saw this site, but they couldn't identify that this is a site and this is something which is to be preserved. And for them, this was nothing but just a pile of high quality bricks which they just utilized it. So unaware of what they were doing, they had actually destroyed several buildings and many of the buildings were completely destroyed. Then, about 80 years ago, that is 70 years after this incident took place, here it was archaeologists. Here there were engineers who found it, but they couldn't identify that this is a site. But here there were archaeologists in the group, so they realized that this is something special and this is to be preserved, and that is how we got to know about the Harappan civilization. Now this Harappan civilization, this basically has got many cities. So many cities are part of this civilization, but we still call it as Harappan civilization because it was Harappa which was first discovered. Engineers also discovered this site first and the archaeologists also discovered Harappa first, and that is the reason we call it as Harappan civilization. Now what is the timeline? The timeline is about 4700 years ago. This is what is given in your NCERT. I have already told you that you are not supposed to go by the dates which are given in your textbooks because even now the scientists and archaeologists are finding the exact dates. For the sake of your exam, you can take this data. IVC sites and present day locations. I have already told you that Harappan civilization consists of many sites. So those sites and the present day locations are given here. So we'll go through the sites one by one. First is Harappa. It is in present day Punjab, Pakistan. Rakhigari, Haryana, India. Kalibangan, Rajasthan. Gaveriwala, Punjab, Pakistan. Mohenjo-daro, Sindh, Pakistan. Sotka ko, Baluchistan, Pakistan. Chanhudaro, Sindh, Pakistan. Dholavira, Surkotada, Lothal. All three are in Gujarat. So that means we have several sites which are in India and several sites which are in present day Pakistan. So remember all these sites and the present day location. This is very important for your prelims. And this map is important if you are a history optional student. So note the locations and the exact location. Archaeologists have found a set of unique objects in almost all these cities. That is, in all these cities, they have found one or the other thing. What are those things? Red pottery painted with designs in black. Now, when you see this, you will have to try to recollect what is it that we saw about pottery in the Stone Age period. In the Stone Age period also, there were decorated potteries. It was painted in red color. Now here we have red pottery, that is it is painted in red but it has got designs on top of it and those designs are in black color. Then stone beads, seals, special beads, copper tools and stone blades. Now when you see this copper tools, have we seen any metal in Stone Age period? No, there was no reference of any metal in the Stone Age period. We just saw stone tools, bone tools and wooden tools. Now when we come to Harappan civilization, we have encountered metals, that is metals were in use. So copper tools, and copper was known to Harappan people. So in the third chapter, when we see a map, you are supposed to go back to your second chapter and to your first chapter and revise all those maps. So till now we have seen this map, that is hunter-gatherer sites. So pause this slide and revise it once again. What was special about these cities? So again they are referring the sites as cities, that is these were modern places. Many of these cities were divided into two or more parts. West, smaller but higher, and this was called as citadel. East, smaller but lower, and this was called as lower town. So what is it that we can find out by going through this statement? The class system existed during Harappan civilization. There were two categories of people, and the royal or the higher class stayed within this citadel, and the common people they stayed in the lower town. Now this is smaller because only few people might be included in the higher section, and this is larger because the common people are many in number, and that is why this is large but lower. That is, the height is low, and this might be on top of some mountain or hill. That is why smaller but higher. So this is called a citadel, and this is lower town. Very often walls of baked bricks were built around each part. That means these two sections were divided by a wall. Now here when you see baked brick, you are supposed to go back to the Stone Age chapter and revise it. So was fire known to the Stone Age people? Yes, fire was known to the Stone Age people, and even they had used baked bricks. So this is not something new, this existed even during the Stone Age period. The bricks were so well baked that they exist even after thousands of years. Now there is something very special about Harappan civilization, and that is the interlocking pattern of the bricks. That is, the bricks are arranged in an interlocking pattern so that the wall becomes more strong. So this is something which is unique in the Harappan civilization, the interlocking pattern of arranging the bricks. Remember this important point. Then what else is special? In some cities, special buildings were constructed on citadel. So citadel, this is for special people, and that is why on citadel you have got some special buildings. And one such building is the Great Bath. So this Great Bath was built in Mohenjo-daro. So this is important. Great Bath, this is in Mohenjo-daro. This is basically a special tank which was built in this area. Now here they are showing how this Great Bath was constructed. First bricks were lined, then it was coated with plaster, then on top of it natural tar was placed so that it becomes watertight. There were steps leading down to it from two sides. That means you can enter this area from two sides, and steps led to this area. There were rooms on all sides. The purpose of rooms might be to change the clothes. Water was probably brought in from a well and drained out after use. So that means they followed a very meticulous way of construction. That is, first bricks, then on top of that plaster, then on top of that tar. Then they had a system to drain out the water after using it. So all these are very modern way of constructing a tank. Then in Kalibangan and Lothal, that is two more sites I introduced to you. Here they had found fire altars. So Kalibangan and Lothal, fire altars have been found. Now when you see fire altars, have we seen the evidence of fire in Stone Age? Yes, it was found in Kurnool. In the Kurnool caves, we have got traces of ash, and that is why we got to know that they were using fire and fire was known to them. Now this is the difference between interlocking pattern and the normal pattern. In normal pattern, you just line the bricks as it is. But in the interlocking pattern, the first brick will be arranged alternatively. That is, in the first line, the first brick would be placed as it is. In the second line, they will break the brick and they will place the half brick, so that you can arrange it in interlocking pattern. Again here one brick would be placed, here half brick would be placed. So this interlocking pattern is achieved by arranging the first brick in a different order. So this is interlocking pattern. Then in cities like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal, we have got evidences of elaborate storehouses. So Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal, elaborate storehouses. Great Bath, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan and Lothal, fire altar. So all these things you are supposed to remember. Houses, drains and streets. Now IVC, that is the Harappan civilization, was a planned civilization. That means all the cities were planned in advance, and after that the construction started. So that's why we can observe that all these three are constructed in a disciplined manner, in a specific order. Now we'll see the characteristics of all these three. The houses, they were 1 or 2 stories high with rooms built around a courtyard like this. That means you will have a courtyard here in the central region and the rooms would be built around it. Now what is the benefit of building houses like this? You'll get sunlight inside your house and there will be movement of air. So that is the benefit of building rooms around the central courtyard, around open courtyard. Most houses had a separate bathing area and some had wells to supply water. So that means individual houses had their own bathing area. So this shows us the importance of hygiene which was given during those days. And some had wells to supply water. So well was in use. Now next is about the drainage. The drainage were covered. It was arranged in a proper straight line, and the drains had a gentle slope so that the water doesn't collect in some places. Then the smaller drains led to the bigger ones. That means these drains were interconnected and smaller drains led to the bigger ones. So covered, straight line, gentle slope and interconnected. Then we also had inspection holes in between these drains so that they could be cleaned. All three were planned and built at the same time, and that is the reason we see that this is constructed in a proper disciplined manner, in a meticulous way. So this is the diagram of drain and this is the well. Now before moving ahead, I think we should quickly revise what all things we have seen so far. So I will just be mentioning the unique things that we have found in the Harappan civilization. So we have got red pottery with black design, stone beads, seals, copper tools, beads, stone blades, baked bricks, and then we saw something called as interlocking. Then later, great bath in Mohenjo-daro, fire altar in Kalibangan and Lothal. Then we had seen elaborate storehouses in Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal. And we also revised that in the Stone Age period in Kurnool the traces of ash were found, and that is why we got to know that fire was known to them. So this much we have seen. Now next, life in the city. Harappan city was a very busy place, and as we have already seen that all the cities were already pre-planned, that is it was planned first and then it was constructed. Now here they are talking about the special buildings like the Great Bath. We have seen that Great Bath is a special building in Mohenjo-daro. So such special buildings were planned by the rulers. These rulers used to send people to distant lands to get metals, precious stones, etc. So they used to get gold, silver, beads, all these things from distant lands. Now what is to be noted here? Gold and silver was known to Harappan people. We have seen copper tools already. Now gold and silver. So remember these three metals, copper, gold and silver. All these three were known to the Harappan people. There were scribes who helped prepare the seals. Now who are scribes? People who knew how to write. So this is an important term, scribes, in the sense people who knew how to write. So that means Harappan people knew how to write and the art of writing was known to them. Then there were men and women, that is craftspersons. So here basically they are trying to say that men as well as women, both of them contributed in the economy of the civilization. So these craftspersons, they used to work either in their homes or they had special workshops. That means we have got evidences of workshops. So workshops, another important building. We have seen Great Bath, now workshops. Many terracotta toys have also been found. So terracotta toys, another important fact. So here what all have we seen? Gold, silver, beads, scribes. Scribes in the sense people who knew how to write. Men and women both worked. There were special buildings like workshops and terracotta toys were in use. New crafts in the city. So what all objects those craftspersons used to make? Archaeologists have found evidences of stone, shell and metal. Metals include copper, bronze, gold and silver. We have already seen about copper, gold and silver. Now we got to know that even bronze was known to them. So copper, bronze, gold and silver. These four metals were known to them. Now here you are supposed to note one more thing, that is tools made of stones were also in use. We have already seen in the previous chapter that when people moved from Paleolithic age to Mesolithic age and from Meso to Neo, they did not discard the old tools. The old tools were still in use. So similarly here also we see that even though metal was known to the Harappan people, they knew about copper, bronze, gold and silver, still they continued to use the stone tools. So stone tools, shell tools and metal tools were in use. Copper and bronze were used to make tools, weapons, ornaments and vessels. So ornaments were worn by Harappan people. Gold and silver to make ornaments and vessels. Beads, weights and blades we have already seen. Weights in the sense the weighing stone used to weigh something, used to measure something. That is called as weights. Harappans also made seals out of stone. So these seals were made of stone and these seals were rectangular in shape and an animal was carved on that seal. So seal made of stone, rectangular in shape and animal carved on top of that stone. Then Harappans also made pots with beautiful black design. We have seen that the pottery was red in color and on top of that they had designs with black. Cotton was probably grown at Mehergarh from about 7,000 years ago. Now we have learnt about Mehergarh in the Stone Age period itself. What was that? Revise it once again. So Mehergarh, this is in Pakistan. It is near the Bolan Pass, which is an important route to Iran. One of the places where they learned to grow wheat and barley, and one of the earliest villages, sheep and goat, bones of deer, pig, sheep and goat, square or rectangular houses with 4 compartments. They believed in life after death. So all these things were learnt in Stone Age period. So this was the situation of Mehergarh during the Stone Age period. Now here when we are discussing about Mehergarh, we are discussing about a time period which is 7,000 years ago. That means we are not discussing about Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization started about 4,700 years ago as per this chapter. But if we are discussing about 7,000 years ago, that means we are discussing about Neolithic age, because Neolithic age started from 8,000 BC onwards. Very quickly we'll revise the dates. Paleolithic is 20,000 BC to 10,000 BC, Meso is 10,000 BC to 8,000 BC, and Neo is from 8,000 BC onwards. That is, this is 10,000 years old. 8,000 BC in the sense 10,000 years ago. So here also we are discussing about Neolithic age. See here in this slide of second chapter, we can see that cotton was grown during the Neolithic age. So that means cotton was grown at Mehergarh since the Neolithic era. But in the Harappan civilization, that is in the city of Mohenjo-daro, we have got evidences of cloth, and this cloth is made of cotton. So pieces of cloth have been found in Mohenjo-daro, and they have also found spindle whorls. The spindle whorl, this is used to weave the thread, okay, to make cloth. So cloth made of cotton and spindle whorls, this is made of terracotta and faience. Faience is something which is artificially made. We'll be learning about this in the further slides. So one more thing, Mohenjo-daro, evidence of cotton cloth and spindle whorls. Now here we will again revise all the places and the evidences found there. Mohenjo-daro, Great Bath, Kalibangan and Lothal, Fire Altar, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal, elaborate storehouses. Now in Mohenjo-daro we have found cotton cloth and spindle whorls. Many of the things that were produced were probably the work of specialists. So that means they had specialists which were specialized in each and every craft. Now these are the things which archaeologists have found from various sites of Harappan civilization. Now first one is Harappan seal. What have we seen about seal already? We have seen that seals are rectangular in shape and an image of animal is carved on top of that. Now here we get to know that the signs on top of the seal are part of a script. That means they have written something here. Language was known to them. They knew the art of writing. Here you are supposed to remember one more word, and that is scribe. Scribe means a person who knew to write. Then this is the earliest form of writing known in the subcontinent. So a seal has got an animal carving on it, and on top of that something is written, and this is rectangular in shape, and seals are usually made of stone. We have seen that also. So stone, animal carving, language, rectangular in shape. Then next, terracotta toys. We have seen that we have got evidences of terracotta toys. Third, stone weights. So these are precisely shaped, as you can see in the image. These are very precisely shaped, made of chert, a kind of stone. So you have to remember this, chert is a kind of stone, and using this stone they prepared the stone weights. Now these stone weights, these were used to weigh precious stones or metals. So this was not used for common purpose, only for special cases. Then beads. Beads, these are made of carnelian, and this is again a type of stone, a beautiful red stone. So two type of stones, one is chert, this is used to make stone weights, then carnelian, this is used to make beads. So remember these two terms, chert and carnelian, both were used in the Harappan civilization. Then stone blades, we have learnt about it. Then here, embroidered cloth. A stone statue of an important man found from Mohenjo-daro shows him wearing an embroidered garment. So this is an embroidered garment, and this was some important personality, and this statue has been found from Mohenjo-daro. So now Mohenjo-daro is associated with how many things? Great bath, elaborate storehouses, then evidence of cotton and spindle wheels, the statue of an important person wearing the embroidered cloth. So 5 things associated with Mohenjo-daro: cotton, spindle wheel, statue, storehouses and great bath. Next, faience. I have told you this is something which is artificially produced, and this is prepared using gum, sand and powdered quartz, and then this is exposed to fire so that this results in shiny glassy surface. So that means this is something which has got shiny and glassy kind of surface, and it is usually colored in blue or sea green. This is used to make beads, bangles, earrings and tiny vessels. So faience, artificially prepared using gum, quartz, sand, and it has got a shiny and glassy texture. It is blue or sea green in color, and it is used to make beads, bangles, earrings and tiny vessels. In search of raw materials. Now what is a raw material? These are substances which are either found naturally or produced by farmers or herders. Naturally in the sense, raw materials like wood or metals, and produced by farmers in the sense, cotton. Herders, they produce wool or milk, and using these wool and milk we make some other product. So that means when these raw materials are processed, they result into some finished good. Now some of the raw materials are available locally, but some are to be fetched from distant places. Example, copper, tin, gold, silver and precious stones. These are to be brought from distant places. Now you have to note one more thing, that tin is known to them. We have learnt about copper, bronze, gold and silver by now, but here we get to see tin as well. That means copper, bronze, tin, gold, silver, all these metals were known to them. Now here they are mentioning from which all places did they fetch these items. So copper was from present day Rajasthan and from Oman. Now this knowledge is useful for your geography MCQs as well. So from Rajasthan you get copper. Then tin, which was mixed with copper to produce bronze. So tin and copper, when they are mixed together, they give rise to a new metal called as bronze. So this tin was brought from Afghanistan and Iran. Then gold was brought from Karnataka and precious stones from Gujarat, Iran and Afghanistan. So that means they used to travel till Rajasthan, Karnataka and Gujarat in India, and outside of India they used to travel till Oman, Iran and Afghanistan for their raw materials. Now again few things have been shown. These are the things which archaeologists have found from the sites. This is a toy cart. Now when you get to see this, what are you supposed to note here? Wheel was known to Harappan people. Then this is the seal. This is a toy plow. That means the original plow was not found, which could have been probably made by wood, and that is the reason that did not last. But now since this is made of terracotta, it has lasted and we get to know that plow was used during those days. So here we get to know wheel was known to them and plow was known to them. So what all things have we seen in the last few slides? Chert is a form of stone. Then carnelian, which is again a form of stone, a red stone. Then faience, it is something which is artificially produced. Wheel was known to them and plow was known to them. Food for people in the cities. While many people lived in the cities, other living in the countryside, they grew crops and they reared animals. That means like the present day we had cities and countryside area, and these are the people who cultivated and they supplied food to the people living in the cities. So what all crops were grown during the Harappan period? Wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed and mustard. Now in the Stone Age period, how many of these were grown? Only 3. Wheat, barley and rice. See here. Wheat, barley and rice. Now here in the Harappan civilization, we see wheat, barley and rice, but in addition to that, we see pulses, peas, sesame, linseed and mustard. So this is how you are supposed to note each and every difference which are seen in the different historical periods. Plow was used in farming. We have seen this already. Then there existed some sort of irrigation. Now archaeologists could give this information because the region where the Harappan civilization exists, that region does not get heavy rainfall. That means they will have to depend on irrigation. So some sort of irrigation existed. So in case of farming, plough existed and irrigation existed. The Harappans reared cattle, sheep, goat and buffalo. Now in the Stone Age period, we have seen cattle, sheep and goat. Now this terminology, that is cattle, this includes buffalo as well. So we do not know when cattle was mentioned in the Stone Age period, did they include buffalo also in that? So anyway, we get to see that the animals which were reared in both the eras are same. But we have seen pig as well in the Stone Age period and we do not get to see pig here. See here, sheep, goat, cattle and pig. Then, in the dry summer months, large herds of animals were taken to greater distance in search of grass and water. They also collected fruits like bear, caught fish, and hunted wild animals like antelope. So, all these animals were known to the Harappan people, that is, cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, and antelope. A closer look, Harappan towns in Gujarat. So, how many Harappan towns are there in Gujarat? 3. Dholavira, Surkotada and Lothal. Now here in this slide we are going to see about Dholavira. So Dholavira, this is located on Khadir Bed in the Run of Kutch. This is important, location is important, Run of Kutch. Now this Run of Kutch of those days was a place with fresh water and fertile soil. Unlike some other Harappan cities which were divided into two parts, Dholavira was divided into three parts. We have seen that cities are divided into two parts. One is citadel, another is lower town. But this place, that is Dholavira, was divided into three parts. So this is very important. Dholavira in Gujarat in Run of Kutch had three parts. This is very important. There was also a large open area in the settlement where public ceremonies could be held. So there was a large open area in Dholavira. Other finds include large letters of Harappan script that are carved out of white stone and inlaid in the wood. Now this is very unique because most of the Harappan writings that we have found are on small objects like seals. So Dholavira, what all are important? In Gujarat, divided into three parts and large letters of Harappan script. So these two things are very important. Three parts and large letters of Harappan script. Next, one more town from Gujarat and that is Lothal. This is situated beside a tributary of Sabarmati and close to Gulf of Khambat. So that was Run of Kutch and this is Gulf of Khambat. Now in Lothal we get to see that raw materials were easily available. Raw materials like semi-precious stones. And since raw materials were easily found, this place has got storehouse and also a workshop area. And this was also an important center for making objects out of stone, shell and metal. So you can associate Lothal with a factory site. So most of the factory work were done in Lothal. Now one more thing, how did the archaeologists get to know that a particular building is a storehouse or a particular building is a workshop? Archaeologists got to know that this is a storehouse because they could find many seals and ceilings. When a product is designed, when it is made, a seal or a ceiling might be placed on top of that. So when you find many seals and ceilings, you get to know that it is a storehouse. And similarly, the archaeologists got to know that this is a workshop for making beads because there they could find pieces of stone, half-made beads, tools for bead making and finished beads. So this is how the archaeologists find out whether a particular building is a storehouse or a workshop. At Lothal we have got one more important feature and that is dockyard. Now what is a dockyard? It is a place where boats and ships come in from the sea and goods are probably loaded and unloaded here. So Lothal has got a dockyard. So what all things are important about Lothal? It is in Gujarat. It is located beside a tributary of Sabarmati, close to Gulf of Khambat. Raw materials like semi-precious stones are easily available. It has got a storehouse, a workshop for making beads and a dockyard. Next, seals and sealings. Seals may have been used to stamp bags or packets containing goods that were sent from one place to another. After a bag was closed, a layer of wet clay was applied on the knot and the seal was pressed on the wet clay. and the impression of the seal which is created by this process is called as sealing. Now what is the benefit of sealing? If the sealing is intact, you can be rest assured that your goods have arrived safely. So one of the benefits of using seal is safety. The mystery of the end. That is, how did this period come to an end? Around 3900 years ago, we find the beginning of a major change. So 4700 years ago is the beginning of this period, and 3900 years ago we see the changes happening. And what all changes started happening? People stopped living in many of the cities, like sites in Sindh and West Punjab were abandoned, and people moved to new settlements. Then writing, seals and weights were no longer used. Bringing of raw materials from long distances became rare. In Mohenjo-daro, there were piles of garbage on the streets. The drainage system broke down and less impressive houses were built, and these houses were built even on the streets. That means these were not planned. Now when we see these changes, that means this doesn't belong to the Harappan civilization. So Harappan people had a different style of living, their lifestyle was different, and these are not resembling the Harappan lifestyle. Few reasons are given by scholars, that is, some say that rivers dried up, some say it was because of the deforestation, and some say it was because of floods. But we have already seen that Harappan civilization includes many sites, and it is not possible that floods can ruin all these sites together. Rivers drying up, deforestation or floods, these can ruin one specific area, but it cannot ruin entire area. So these reasons are not accepted, and as of now we do not know the reason of the end. So it is still a mystery, and that is why the title is The Mystery of the End, because we do not know how it ended. New cities emerged about 1000 years later. That is, first we had Stone Age period, then we had Harappan civilization, and after Harappan civilization we'll be having some other civilization. Next, elsewhere. That is, while India was going through the Harappan civilization period, what was happening in Egypt? Egypt, we know that it is a dry desert except for the land along the river Nile. So river Nile, this is in Egypt. Around 5000 years ago, kings ruled over Egypt. They sent armies to distant lands to get gold, silver, ivory, timber, and precious stones. They also built huge tombs known as pyramids. See, basically, we do not know much about pyramids, that is, who built pyramids and what was the purpose of building these pyramids. These pyramids are mystery even now. But here in this chapter, they are saying that these were built by the Egyptians and dead bodies were buried and preserved here. That is, mummification was done inside the pyramids. But we do not know whether this statement is correct. Some pyramid might have been used for mummification, but not all pyramids, because there are some pyramids which are extremely huge and we are still unaware about the construction of those huge pyramids. We do not know who constructed those pyramids. A large number of objects were also buried with them. These included food and drink, clothes, ornaments, utensils, musical instruments, weapons, animals, and sometimes even serving men and women were buried with the rulers. So even these people believed in life after death. We have seen this in Stone Age period. We have seen a site called as Mehergarh, where we have got evidences of belief in life after death. These are amongst the most elaborate burials known in the world history. Now, since Egypt is mentioned, we are supposed to note where Egypt is in the atlas. So this is Egypt. You have got Mediterranean Sea here, Red Sea here. And what are the adjacent countries? You have got Libya, Sudan, Israel and Palestine, because Gaza Strip, this belongs to Palestine. So Israel, Palestine, Sudan and Libya are the adjacent countries, and you have got Mediterranean Sea here and Red Sea here. Now let's revise the two maps which we had seen in the second chapter. One is France. So France, you have got Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy and Spain as the adjacent countries. Then here you have got English Channel, and English Channel separates UK and France, and towards the south you have got Mediterranean Sea. So UK, English Channel, France, Mediterranean Sea, and then the adjacent countries are Spain, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland and Italy. Turkey, this is Turkey. Adjacent countries are Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Bulgaria. Then you have got Black Sea to the north of Turkey and Mediterranean Sea to the south of Turkey. So once again, Black Sea, Turkey and Mediterranean Sea, adjacent countries in order: Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq, Syria and Bulgaria. Now at the end of your chapter, some important dates are given here. Let's read that. Cotton cultivation at Mehergarh, 7,000 years ago. Beginning of cities, 4,700 years ago. That is, this is a period when Harappan civilization started. Beginning of the end of these cities, 3,900 years ago. The emergence of other cities, 2,500 years ago. That is, by this time, Harappan civilization was completely destroyed and another cities emerged in place of Harappan cities. Now I think we should revise this entire chapter once again. So 3 time periods are given here. 150 years ago, engineers saw this but they couldn't identify the site. Then 80 years ago, archaeologists could actually identify the site, and the archaeologists found that these cities developed about 4,700 years ago. These are the sites: Harappa, Punjab, Pakistan; Rakhigari, Haryana; Kalibangan, Rajasthan; Gaveriwala, Punjab, Pakistan; Mohenjo-daro, Sindh, Pakistan; Sotkako, Balochistan, Pakistan; Chanhudaro, Sindh, Pakistan; and Dholavira, Surkotada and Lothal in Gujarat. We have found red pottery painted with designs in black, stone weights, seals, beads, copper tools and stone blades. Most cities divided into 2, Citadel and Lower Town. Baked bricks were found. Mohenjo-daro, Great Bath; Kalibangan and Lothal, fire altar; Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal, elaborate storehouses. Then during the Stone Age, traces of ash have been found in Kurnool caves. This is during Stone Age period. Houses, drains and streets all were planned together and constructed together. Drains are covered in straight line, gentle slope. Smaller drains lead to bigger drains, inspection holes in between. Houses have got courtyard in the central region and rooms are built around it. Well is there. Then rulers used to send people to distant lands to get metals, precious stones. Then here, Harappans were aware of gold and silver. Scribes, people who knew how to write. Tools of stone, shell, copper, bronze, gold, silver all were found, and in the further slide we will be seeing that even tin was known to them. Then seals were made of stone. They are rectangular in shape. Animal was carved on them, and on top of that the script was mentioned. Pots, they are painted with red color, and on top of that the designs were drawn in black color. Mehergarh, cotton was grown, but this is during the Neolithic era. Pieces of cloth and spindle whorls were found in Mohenjo-daro, and these were made of terracotta and faience. Stone Age, this is the classification: Paleolithic 20,000 BC to 10,000 BC, Meso 10,000 BC to 8,000 BC, and Neo 8,000 BC onwards. Features found in Mehergarh during the Stone Age period. This is located in Pakistan near Bolan Pass, which is an important route to Iran. Here we have seen wheat, barley, sheep, goat, earliest villages, bones of deer, pig, sheep and goat. Rectangular or square houses with 4 or more compartments, and they believed in life after death. And again in Neolithic age we have seen that cotton was grown and the pots were decorated. Then these are the artifacts: Harappan seal, terracotta toys, stone weights, beads. Charth is a kind of stone and this was used to make stone weights. Carnelian, this is a beautiful red stone and this was used to make beads. Then this statue was found in Mohenjo-daro and this person is wearing a embroidered cloth. Faience, artificially produced, blue or green in color, and they are used to make beads, bangles, earrings, etc. Raw materials: copper from Rajasthan and Oman, tin from Afghanistan and Iran, gold from Karnataka, precious stones from Gujarat, Iran and Afghanistan. Wheel was known to them and they were using plough. Then Harappans were growing wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed and mustard. We have seen wheat, barley and rice in Stone Age period, but these are extra and these were grown in the Harappan period. Then irrigation was used and they reared cattle, sheep, goat and buffalo. They were aware of antelope. Then Dholavira, this is in Gujarat, located on Khadir Bay in the Rann of Kutch. It is divided into 3 parts. Then we have found large letters of Harappan script in Dholavira. Next, Lothal, which is again in Gujarat. It is located beside a tributary of Sabarmati and it is close to Gulf of Khambat. Raw materials like semi-precious stones were easily available here. We have got a storehouse and a workshop in this place. A dockyard was also found at Lothal. The beginning of change started around 3,900 years ago. These are the reasons given by the scholars. But the end of Harappan age is still a mystery and we do not know how this age ended. Then we saw Egypt, Nile River flows through it. We have got Israel, Palestine, Sudan and Libya as the adjacent countries, Mediterranean Sea to its north and Red Sea to its east. Then we have revised France, UK, English Channel, France and Mediterranean Sea. This is in order from top to bottom. Then Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy and Spain. Then Turkey, you have got Black Sea to the north and Mediterranean Sea to the south. Adjacent countries are Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq, Syria and Bulgaria. Then this is when the Harappan civilization started 4700 years ago. 3900 years ago, major changes started happening and other cities started emerging 2500 years ago. So that's all from my side. Please like, share and subscribe this channel and I'll be back with the next chapter very soon. Thank you so much.